I hope you're well. Welcome back for another video. Today is another flip through one of my travel scrapbooks, and this time it is from my trip to Iceland. So this was for my boyfriend and I's first anniversary. We met on the 6th of January 2023, so we decided we wanted to go away for our first anniversary, and Iceland is the place we picked. So this is the title page. So I cut out a big map that we got given while we were there, and then I've just put some stickers sort of highlighting the main bits that we did, so sort of Reykjavik and then the parts of the Golden Circle, so they were the main bits that we saw. This was our key card, so we stayed at the hotel cabin. It was a pretty basic hotel, but they did breakfast, and yeah, it was good for what we needed. This was my boarding pass, so we flew with Iceland Air, and then unfortunately between security and sort of going round duty free, my boyfriend managed to lose his boarding pass. So I've always wondered what would happen if you lose your boarding pass, and what they do is they, at the gate, they print you out like a spare one, but obviously it looks a little bit different, so I put that it's the boarding pass of shame, just because it's quite obviously not a normal boarding pass. So yeah, that's the title page. So this was us coming into land, into Reykjavik. Yeah, we managed to arrive in daylight, so got to see a bit of the countryside, but then it went dark pretty quick. As we were walking around Reykjavik, we saw like where they'd pushed the snow mounds or cleared the snow from the road, they'd sort of made mounds out of it on the path, so it looked a little bit like an igloo. This was the harbour part around Reykjavik. I just like the reflection of the lights lit up in the water. And then I just put a little thing saying 365 days because that's how long we'd been together. So yeah, we didn't actually really see much of Reykjavik in the light at all. So we mainly walked along the harbour front. We saw the famous church building, but we didn't see it up close, we just saw it from afar, and sort of like a lighthouse. Walking along the harbour was really nice, very cold obviously in the snow and a bit slippy, but yeah, it was very pretty. And then these are just some more pictures from around Reykjavik. So even though we went sort of the first weekend of January, there were still lots of Christmas decorations up, which was really festive. So just got a picture of the tree with the lights on and the Christmas decorations. And then this is a bit more of when we saw Reykjavik in the daylight. So we only actually had one day that we saw Reykjavik in the daylight, but it was really pretty and scenic, and this was on our walk to the lagoon where we had our little spa afternoon. So yeah, the landscape was really pretty. So the main thing we did was a tour of the Golden Circle. We booked like a group tour excursion for the day. So we got up and we left in the dark. So yeah, this is one of the reasons why we didn't see Reykjavik in the daylight very much. And this is just a picture of the scenery going past the coach. I like that it's a bit blurred, you can sort of see us moving. And then the first place we stopped off at was a tomato farm, which was sort of very random, but it was quite interesting. So it was set in the middle of the forest, so we got time to have a little walk about. We played with the snow, and then there were some horses as well, which you could sort of stroke, and they were very cute. And then we got taken around the greenhouse, which was where they grew the tomatoes. So yeah, obviously you associate growing tomatoes in sunny countries, so yeah, the fact that they could grow that in somewhere so cold, albeit in a greenhouse, was pretty cool. So this was the main part of the Golden Circle trip, and the landscape was just absolutely beautiful, and sort of where it didn't get light until about 10:30, 11, we basically saw the sunrise, which was really cool. There's just a picture of me with my fluffy hat to keep my head warm. And yeah, to see so much snow around was pretty cool as well. And there's just some more pictures of the landscapes. Really like the cabins in the snow, and I like this picture sort of with the sun poking through as well. So then one of the stops that we had was to see the geyser. So this is sort of a natural phenomenon that erupts every 8 minutes. So you don't have to wait around for long, but you can see sort of all the people there waiting for it to erupt. So I managed to get a picture of it as it started erupting, sort of, and then as the eruption got bigger, and then as the steam sort of dispersed a little bit. I like this picture as well because you can see sort of the bubbling water. Obviously this is the water's very hot, so you can't touch it, you can't go near it. And I was expecting it to smell of sulphur, but it wasn't too bad actually. It didn't smell at all. And then here's just some more pictures from around that area. We had about an hour and a half here, so we could sort of take our time with watching the geyser, and we could also grab some lunch here as well, which was nice. But again, the scenery was just absolutely amazing. So here's just some pictures of the two of us. So managed to get a picture, like a selfie as the geyser erupted, and just some pictures of the two of us. So then after there we went on to the Gullfoss waterfall. Obviously because we were there in winter, it was pretty much frozen. There were some sort of bits that you could see, there were some streams of the waterfall, but most of it was frozen, and it was again another incredible sight. So yeah, just got a picture of the two of us, and then the landscape. So by now this was sort of 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so it still wasn't particularly light, even though it was daylight. It wasn't that clear, and we were really lucky with the weather this day, and we had blue skies, and it wasn't raining or anything. Unfortunately, we had a Northern Lights tour booked for this evening, and with the clear skies we were like, oh yeah, it'll definitely go ahead, and then it got cancelled. So unfortunately we didn't get to see the Northern Lights, which was obviously one of the reasons we chose to go to Iceland, but I'm sure at some point hopefully we will get to see them. And here's just some more pictures of the waterfall. So yeah, here the water's running freely, and then as it drops over it's been frozen, and sort of you can see all the ice here. And then just some more pictures of the waterfall, sort of trying to get up close of all of it frozen. Still more waterfall. So yeah, we had about half hour, 45 minutes around here, which was nice because we got to sort of take our time with pictures and just sort of soaking up where we were. Managed to get sort of quite a good close up here of all the ice frozen. And then we moved on to like the last part of the Golden Circle. I can't actually remember where this was, but again the scenery was absolutely beautiful. So yeah, just sort of took some pictures of the snowy landscape, and us with our matching hats. And then this was the site of the first Icelandic Parliament, which I believe is actually the oldest parliament in the world. So yeah, it wasn't particularly impressive. It was just sort of some steps, but obviously it's got quite sort of historical significance. And then we got taken to a lake where women were drowned if they cheated on their husbands, so I thought that was quite brutal. There was another punishment for men, but it wasn't about cheating, but just sort of the feminist in me was like, nope, that was unfair on the women. But yeah, the rocks and the cliff formation was beautiful. And then for our last day, we went to the Sky Lagoon. Now we had initially, with our Golden Circle tickets, we had tickets for the Blue Lagoon, but it was when the volcano had erupted, so the Blue Lagoon was actually closed. So we managed to get some last minute tickets for the Sky Lagoon, which was really nice actually. It wasn't too busy, but we could only get a slot about 5:30, so it was dark by the time we got there. So these are just some pictures of the lagoon. You could take cameras in, which was nice, so just took an underwater camera. And it's like a bath. It was so warm, and it was really nice that even though the air outside was cold, you could go in the warm water, and it was lovely. And then there was a bar that you could buy drinks at. I think it was quite expensive, but obviously Iceland is known for being expensive. And as part of our tickets, we took part in the 7-step ritual. So as well as access to the pools, you after you go in the lagoon and then the cold plunge pool, you go in the sauna, which was really nice. I think during the day you've got quite a nice view over the landscape, but obviously because it was dark you couldn't see it. And then after the sauna you have the cold mist, which is basically like a cold shower. And then you scrub your body with some like exfoliating stuff. Then you go in the steam room and then you have a shower. So once you've done all that, you can then go back into the pool and relax. There wasn't a time limit. You could stay there as long as you wanted. So we stayed for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Just because we then, by that point it was sort of 7:30 at night, and we had to get up at 1 a.m. to get our transfer back to the airport. So we didn't want too much of a late night, but also we wanted to make the most of it. And this is some pictures of what the lagoon actually looks like during the day, because we didn't get to see that. So yeah, this is like the lagoon part, the warm part. And then here is the cold plunge pool, and it really is cold. But yeah, I would imagine sort of floating around here, looking out to the scenery would be pretty cool. So yeah, that was our time in Iceland. We only had 3 nights, 3 days there. And yeah, then our airport transfer to pick us up the following day was it picked us up at 1:30. No, we had to get up at 1:30. It picked us up at 3, that was tough. But yeah, I would highly recommend Iceland. It's a beautiful country, and yeah, really enjoyed the trip. It was a lovely way to celebrate our first anniversary. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!